What's
calm
goody? We back. It's your boys from Respect the Tail. Yummy. Why do you pause so much in between?
It's effect.
I don't know.
Effect.
Dramatic effect.
Dang, that's dramatic.
I don't know. That's just.
You know,
I think
you
that's
know.
just literally how it went the very first time. I was like, "We back, respect the tilt. You got me."
You slapping that thigh, boy. What you doing?
Yeah, chill
No,
out, dog.
no, I was hitting my hand. You know how people like when they're like, "Man, run up, get done up," you know, stuff like
You
that.
slapping the thigh.
Yeah, chill out, dude.
What's goody? We back, respect the tilt. You got me, Great Robino, and you got Flyman and JT. They retired their positions as Robino. Go ahead.
What's
Zeno.
goody? We back. It's your boy, Great Robino. We back. Respect the tilt.
What's goody? We back.
It's your boy.
What's
Yeah.
goody?
You gotta say we back a few more times.
We back. We back. We back.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Yeah, what's next? Go ahead.
But anyway, today we here to talk about buying in store versus buying online for games, and buying digital versus buying hard copy. Cause you know we evolving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, times are changing, bro. We moved from,
Stone Age.
arcades
Oh.
to, I don't even know. I mean, remember floppy disk,
Joysticks to
Why you
joysticks,
floppy disk? Man, you can have an arcade in your house though.
cartridges.
I think they're well, not an arcade. You can whatever those.
They just
casket
run
things are.
emulators. They're just a computer now.
talking about
It's just a
fight
computer
sticks,
ru-
Rob.
No, like the whole arcade casket thing. Like if
Oh,
you-
well, yeah.
whatever those are called. I don't remember what they're called. You can have one in your house. I
That
think
costs
they're
bread,
expensive.
though.
Yeah.
It's just a computer running emulation stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a Raspberry Pi inside that whole thing.
Right. For real.
If you open it up, it's just hollow. It's just got one little chip in it. That'd be so funny, though. These people just making those are making hella money off of like
Right.
the $100 Raspberry Pi.
And then they get some cheap wood and then charge $500 for a
Mhm.
cabinet.
It's genius. We might be on a new business model.
Don't let the people know.
I mean, you seen the whatchamacallit, the guys with the race car setups? They play racing games and they're on their computer and it looks legit.
Oh yeah.
Those
I
look
don't
kind of
think
sweet.
so.
Oh,
Have
dude.
you ever seen those the flight simulator people having
Oh,
their
yeah.
station set up?
The flight simulator set, it looks shit like the legit. Like that shit looks like it's an actual flight.
it looks shit legit.
Yeah, that shit looks legit. You know what I'm saying? But buying in person, let's see. That's it used to always be the fun thing to do, just because when you're a kid, right? You're visually stimulated when you're in the GameStop, and you're looking at all these things for systems you don't even own, but it's just fun to
Right.
look at because
Yeah.
there's so many options. The availability
just
is
fun.
endless.
I remember when I was a kid, I would always go to McVan's, who was bought out by.
I remember
think-
Big Vans.
Yeah, McVan's.
Yeah, they're a local video game store around here. But
Yeah, it was out
I'd always,
west.
I remember going in there and I got like a 64. That was like the first console I had got,
hmm
and the first game I had got was Zelda. Okay, and I loved it, right? And I was looking for games with people that had swords, right? So I was just looking at all the different covers of games and seeing who had a sword on there. And this dude, I was like, "Do you have any like Legend of Zelda games for like the PlayStation?" And he laughed and he was like, "Legend of Zelda's not really PlayStation." And he was like, "There's this game," and he gave me Final Fantasy X He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
he was like, it's kind of like Legend of Zelda. And I mean, it's nothing like Legend of Zelda, but
That man lied to you. He got a sale.
he was like, I mean, the guy has a sword on it, and I played that thing. I didn't understand it when I first played it, and it took me. I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I remember playing it, and I got stuck hard on like the first fight with like the sin spawn or whatever, and after like the beach, you know what I'm talking about, Justin.
It's one of
After
the
like
early
the
ones.
beach, yeah, it's one of the early ones, and I was stuck hard on that for like months, and until I finally got through it. But fun times, fun times.
Yeah, I think another appeal to it is you get to obviously demo some of the new hot games that are coming out.
Right.
At the Walmarts, they would have them at the GameStops, the Best Buys, and the Best Buy had the best TV.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And do you remember how like back in the day too, buying certain games you would get a demo, like and you could only it was only like physical copies back then.
Yeah.
I remember I had bought Dragon Quest 8 because it had a demo for Final Fantasy 12 in it, and it was the only reason why I had bought the game, just to try the 12 demo. But yeah, I ended up loving Dragon Quest, and it was really dope, and I probably like it more than Final Fantasy 12. So there you go.
I think one demo I got was I Ninja. You get to play.
Oh yeah,
Ninja.
I remember that game.
It's lit. I bought the real game eventually.
See, I do want to say something off of what JT said though earlier when you said going in there and being nostalgic buying the games. For me though, I don't know if it was. For me, it wasn't really like that because I didn't have like a card or anything like that because if you were gonna buy digital, you had to put a card on there. And my parents, they didn't want to put their card on there. They're like, no, we're not giving you my credit card. So I kind of had to go buy the digital or buy the physicals.
Yeah, that's
that
true
point.
too. Yeah, because we definitely didn't trust the the security infrastructure back then.
Oh
You
yeah.
remember PSN got hacked that one time?
Yup, it got hacked. It got hacked big. Like, I think
was
they shut
back
the
when,
servers down.
Yeah, that was back when PSN was free, and then whenever it came back, they gave us like 3 free games.
You remember how subscription-based games for a while they didn't have time cards that you could buy, and you had to do straight up like subscribe to them. I remember I was playing WoW and I wanted to subscribe to WoW, and my dad was like, "Oh no, you have to subscribe to this." He was like, "I ain't paying for this."
Yep.
Yeah, every parent was like that.
Yeah, you
I
can't
ain't
do them.
subscribing to this.
Yeah, subscriptions
Then you had
back in
to
the day were always like even more annoying than they are now.
right, and then you had to struggle to be off and on with your subscription thing, like buying time for like 3 months, and then you couldn't buy time for
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
many
me with
days.
RuneScape.
Yeah.
Another cool thing about like buying in person was like you can, a lot of the times the guy will like help you with like do different pre-orders. Like there are some games that you didn't even know are coming out yet, and they would be like, yeah, you can get this. Actually, like set up a pre-order for $5, and that'll automatically like get you one of the games, and you just pay the rest when you come in. I thought that was like pretty convenient.
Oh right, yeah.
It's like you pretty much put a down payment on a game.
Yeah,
And all you have to do is pick it up.
that was back when what was that called? It was like layaway. I don't
Yeah,
even know,
yeah,
do places still do layaway?
But I think places still do layaway.
yeah. But I think that's like especially nice for obviously if you got money coming in later, you just put a pre-order and then pay the rest as you get more money coming in. But the worst part about in person is definitely selling.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Man, don't go try
They
to
really
sell
be
an
trying
old
to
sports
sell you.
game.
can't sell shit for a profit.
Definitely not a sports. If it's a year old, you getting like 30 cents.
I sold my PS2, and my dad was like, it was at McVan's. He's like, this place is kind of cool. You can find all kinds of shit in here. And then they appraised my PlayStation 2 and all the games I had, and they were like, $30. And he was like, what the hell? He was like, no. In his head, he was like, that don't make no sense. But he was like, at the same time, it's better than keeping it.
I mean,
Right.
McVan's was better about it than GameStop.
Oh, for sure. But McVan still, you know, they still have to make their own kind of money.
Yeah, they need that profit.
Yep. They probably flipped my PS2 to be like $50. To be fair, the games I had were old. I think this was around the time PS3 dropped, and I didn't have one for like maybe the first year. I was still rocking the old school PS2. And then eventually I sold my PS2 and all the games I had. And obviously some of them didn't get taken. And I used what I made from the PS2 for in-store credit and then bought a PS3 there. Which still costs like, what, 150 maybe?
Sir, I remember the only console I bought, like, in hindsight, that was like stupid expensive was like the Xbox Elite.
Oh yeah, I got the Elite. You're
Is
talking
that
about the
the-
360 one?
Yeah, the 360.
Is that the white
It
one?
was like
No, that was
No,
the black
the
one
black-
with the vents.
Oh, the black one, yeah.
that was
Where-
like $600.
That was the
Unreleased.
first, because you remember before the power button was like, it was an actual button. That was the one where you
Yep.
just tap it and it's like ding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those were the days, man. But
Yeah.
also, like, another pretty shitty thing about, like, in-store is the GameStops were always small. And the people in there were always sweaty.
Why are you talking about the?
Hey, man, them
Nah.
people were kind of dirty sometimes.
No, they kind of were sometimes.
I was like, dang, like, what's what's going on in here? Like, why does it smell like ass? Why is there no room to walk anywhere?
Hey, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
That's a human interaction thing for sure, but still, that's definitely a drawback to buying in person.
I know Flyman said something about the biggest purchase he made. I also bought that Elite, but I wouldn't say the biggest purchase, which it was cheaper. It was cheaper, but it was I did it in like 5th grade, where I saved up and I bought a PSP bundle around when it first came out. It was like $250 or something for a 5th grader.
Damn.
The only reason I was
No.
the only
He was
reason I was
saving
able
bread.
Yeah, the only reason I was able to do that was because, you know, every year on my birthday and Christmas, my grandpa would give me $50. My parents would give me some money, and they also paid me for my grades. Cause I think I got like $10 for every A and $5 for every B. So
Dang.
yeah, I would put that work in. That was also how I got my PS3, because I think I got A's that whole year in 7th grade. And my parents bought me a PS3.
Yeah. I guess that's another benefit for us. Like back then, like we had something to work for. Because it was always a game was like an incentive, or this new edition
Right.
was like an incentive.
Yeah,
And
it
then
was.
part
And
of
then,
the incentive was like going to go get it.
yep. You was always excited to go into the store and walk through and pick what you wanted.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of getting paid for grades, though, has nothing to do with games. But Flyman, you remember in middle school when Michael Jordan's mom came there, and they started up that program for paying the college stuff for like A's and B's, and then they're like,
And
if
nobody-
you get A's all year, you'll win a trip to Disney World. And I got A's that whole year, and then they just disappeared, and we never heard anything. from them again.
That's the Office shit. You remember that episode of The Office? Michael Scott said he's gonna give all those kids a scholarship to college.
Yep. And they,
I mean, I got
nobody-
the money actually. They gave me like the money for that 1 year for my grades. I actually got that for college, but I never got that trip to Disney World.
I think I got the money for the college stuff too, but I can't remember though.
Yeah, man.
It was a small amount because it was only 1 year, and we went semesters.
Yeah, it was only like $200 or $300, and I was like, I got 21 first century.
Yeah,
Don't matter.
exactly. My Twitch is already taken care of, dude. Hey, don't worry, Robino. We can go whenever you want.
All right, but another negative in terms of like going into the store is how they always be trying to get you to get some sort of credit card or get you to pre-order something that
yes.
you definitely don't want. You
Yeah.
trying to pre-order that NAC 2? I ain't trying to pre-order no NAC 2.
I ain't playing on NAC 1.
Or you want to sign up for that their rewards card or whatever.
Yeah.
The
It'll
power
be like you
rewards.
get 15% off today.
And then you just always use your points to get your subscription for the pro status. That always happens to me. They're like, oh, it seems you ran out of your pro status, but you got enough points to redeem another full year. Would you like to do that? Yeah.
I guess.
Hey, man, the best thing about that rewards thing was the Game Informer.
Yeah.
That's pretty legit. Yeah.
Game Informer was always legit. Looking forward to that. And that's another thing. You don't really get that by going outside of game stores.
Speaking of informer type things, another fun thing about buying in person is you get to go look at the guidebooks.
Right.
To just
And then
flip
you
through
get-
them like for free.
Yeah, back in the day, you learned you had to learn secrets about games either through friends or guidebooks.
Mm-hmm. That was tight. Like the best. I think I did that for one of the Pokemons. I think it was
Mhm.
Emerald. I got the guidebook because I was just glancing through. I was like, oh, I could use this, and it was on sale.
Man, I
Yes,
used to be
sir.
the guy who bought those secret code books. You remember?
Oh.
that's
Yeah, I was
what they're
about to.
called,
I was
secret
about to
codes?
say the Game
Them
Shark
mugs
books and
were
stuff.
like dictionaries, dog.
Yeah,
The
where
Game
they just
Sharks and
showed off
stuff.
all the cheats and all that. Like,
Mhm.
I bought so many versions. I think I had 9 different versions because there was like
Nice.
handheld versions. There were
Yeah.
different console
Yep.
ones. I would bring them to school and people would be like, "Hey, can I check this out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got you."
You were the plug, dude. The homies Maradona and Montana always had the cheat books on deck.
Hey,
We were kitted out.
Now most games don't even do cheat codes. The only way you can cheat is by if you're on
Making them
computer.
yourself.
Yeah, if you're on computers using mods or the console commands.
Uh huh. Man, those are pretty fun. Hey,
Yeah,
but
back
let's
in the
move on
day.
to those digital benefits.
hey, you don't have to have space for all
I don't
those-
have to drive.
Yeah, you don't have to drive. You don't have to find out where you're gonna put all.
Oh, you like the sound of that, huh, Robino? No driving.
I actually like driving.
I'll tell you what I don't like: going to the mall. Fuck
Yeah,
the
I
mall.
don't like going to the mall.
Fuck the mall. I moved on beyond that.
I don't like that. I mean, you also got the convenience of being able to load up games. I definitely wish that most of my games on my Switch were actually just downloaded. That way I can just hop between them.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
not and not have to worry about switching out the cartridges and all that stuff.
Mhm. A side note: speaking of malls, and because we were also talking about Sacramento beforehand, when I was over there, my cousins were like, "Yeah, teenagers aren't allowed to be in there by themselves without an adult because kids will just come here and fight." And I was like, "This ghetto ass mall, what the hell? Kids come here
Said
just to fight?
Sacramento?
They could do that anywhere." So if you just see a
That's
group
funny.
of kids like lurking by themselves, you just be like, "Oh, they're about to start some shit up." I went to the mall in Tampa. These high schoolers are in a fight when we were in the mall. I was like, "What the hell is wrong with this? Why do kids fight at the mall? They can get all kinds of shit happens there. This
It's
is
like
bullshit.
the stage, the boxing ring. It's their boxing ring.
Do that in the high school bathroom. Not
Yeah.
in the mall.
why are we doing that in public where everybody will shut you down?
Yeah.
They
Either you're
gotta
gonna get embarrassed or people is gonna jump in.
they gotta go somewhere where they can chant World Star and everybody can see it.
The mall is
Bro.
turning into Walmart.
Bro, the mall be ghetto. Malls be
I
ghetto
swear.
Man, the last time we were at Glenbrook, we saw all kinds of stuff. Freaking the elevator smelled like a wino was in there.
Ugh.
The escalator was always broke, and then we went to the food court, and that was a trip. There's this dude. He was walking around. He had like a white tee on, and he was like, "Man, can I get a refill, man? Shit, that lemonade was good, man. Fuck, man.
For some reason, that makes me think
bro."
of the.
And he was talking to himself. Nobody was there.
That makes me think of the dude from the Wayans movie. Was that Don't Be a Menace or was?
Don't Be a Menace is a movie.
I don't remember if that was the name of the actual movie or the parody movie with the Wayans. The parody one, though.
Yes, don't be a menace.
Yeah, where the dude walked up, he's like, "Man, I got these cheeseburgers, man."
Oh man, fuck the mall. I hate the mall.
And then another one. This dude, he picked up this kid like by his arm, basically dislocating his whole arm and shoulder, and swung him around. And the kid was like, "Ah!" And he's like, "Man, what you crying for?" And like, because you literally done swung him around by his arm.
Because his arm's out of the socket. Oh god. Okay. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that no more.
Man, the most ghetto mall that we barely remember is the Southtown Mall.
Oh, don't even talk to me about the Southtown Mall.
That thing got shut down.
Of course.
And now the thing that's in there that replaced it is still ghetto because that Walmart.
Hell yeah. I can't go to that Walmart. Safe.
That Walmart be having. The thing I always remember about going to that Walmart is they be stealing socks and underwear out of the package.
Oh man, I saw a dude from my high school working there. He's like, I fucking hate this place. And he was ghetto himself. Oh,
See, you just
Funny tangent.
you avoid all of that if you just buy digital. All you you just have to. Either you have to not have games downloaded or you gotta buy an extra hard drive.
I was gonna say, you definitely need the space for it. But
Yeah.
space is way more accessible nowadays.
Yeah, you can have an external hard drive. You can do like what I did on the PS4. You can replace the hard drive in the PS4. I put a 2 terabyte one in mine.
Yeah, and I put a SD card in my Switch.
Yeah. At the same time, you don't need to have all your games downloaded. Because, I mean, if there's games you're not playing yet, and there's one that, like a few that you're playing a lot of, once you finish those games, you just delete them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I finished Cyberpunk. I don't really have a need to play it again unless they come out with DLC or something, so I could just delete it.
Hey, pause. Kobe, your thing slid up, but you're not talking. Like, we don't hear you saying anything.
You're always talking, but you never be saying.
Yeah, you might want to try resetting that Discord. You might not be able to even hear us. Yeah, we'll just tell him to restart his Discord.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick, while we pause, did you have you checked your did you say you got your cognizant bonus?
Hell yeah.
Okay, because I checked my thing and I saw I have a pending payment and I have a pending other deposit from them, and I was like, what is this? Why do I have
a payment?
Well, my normal paycheck.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
pending, and then there's another pending.
Yeah,
deposit.
I got both those too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know what just happened.
Are you back now? Let's go. Okay, so we were talking about external.
Yeah.
External hard drives.
Yeah, and I said that I finished that Cyberpunk. I don't have another reason to play it unless there's a DLC coming out, so I could just delete that.
But one advantage though to physical though is how you could at least, like, when you're done with the game. I remember back in middle school, there was this guy that we would constantly trade games back and forth with.
They have a
and
trench
stuff.
coat on or some shit.
No. But like, and there were games like as a kid, like I couldn't get my hands on, like GTA, because my parents was not gonna buy me GTA and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, man, I got GTA 4, and he's like, I'll trade you for like I think it was like Call of Duty or something like simple and stupid. I was like, you damn right, I'm about to trade you. So you can really do that.
Yeah, borrowing stuff. That's nice.
Because you're right, Rob. I mean, Robino, you finished Cyberpunk, and you can't trade it in, and you can't trade it with somebody to get a different game, because it's digital. So you kind of lose out on that.
Yeah, we don't run on the barter system enough.
Right. Yeah.
Trade you Cyberpunk for 3 chicken breasts. I'll take that trade shit.
A man's gotta eat.
Another thing about digital is like obviously nowadays too, like the amount of updates and patches you can get. Because if the game was broke on physical, it's broke.
True.
It's gone.
Like if the disc is all scratched up or like snapped in half, you're kind of done.
There's no physical way to tamper the actual game.
Right. But at the same time though, I mean, doesn't physical take less space than digital?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. And then you also got I tend to find, honestly, that physical copies, at least when it comes to like the Xbox store and PlayStation store, the physical copies of those games always tend to be cheaper because the games seem to never get a price drop on the store, and unless there's a good sale going on, and you're kind of limited to like when you should buy those games. Because like I can't buy like, I don't know, like Spider-Man or Final Fantasy 7 off the PlayStation store, because I mean it's like $50 on there, when I know for a fact if I go to like a GameStop or like a local game store, it's going to be like $30 or $20.
Yeah, and you can buy used.
I feel like that's...
Yeah, and I could buy it used.
I feel like that's because you're buying it from Sony themselves versus from a retailer.
Yeah, I mean, first party is always going to charge higher because I mean, think about it with Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't have to drop the prices of their games because they're the ones making the games. They set the price, they set the thing. They're like, oh, we remaking that were they remaking the Skyward Sword? Old Wii game? Yeah, bro. $60. And you're gonna pay it too. And you're right. They probably will.
Yeah,
these Joy-Cons? $80 for a pair.
Yep. I think to kind of piggyback onto it, when you have the physical copy, it kind of teaches you to take care of your things a lot more when you're younger. You know what I'm saying? Because like you actually have to like either you leave it in the thing or you put it away. Like and even leaving it in the system, you know. I think there are some like hardware like issues that can come about that, like say like it doesn't open up again or something like that, or it's just stuck in there. Because I remember whose slot couldn't open.
I remember hearing old stories. Like I had a friend, he said he tilted his PS2 and the game slipped through and like got grinded against all the hardware and stuff.
God damn.
And the thing.
I never like, left my disc in the system because you're not supposed to move the system when the disc is in there because it can pop out the tray. Like that's something you're not supposed to do. So like he tilted it and it went out. That's why they say don't do it. So I always just took my thing out every time.
Yeah, there's definitely more of a sense of responsibility with the those older hard, and especially like the physical copies too.
I remember my dad would always get on me about scratching up disc and making sure I don't scratch up disc.
My dad used to have those, cause he had a whole bunch of DVDs and stuff, and he used to have one of those, I don't know, cleaning sets or something where like you spray the back of the disc and it had like some type of little squeegee to clean it.
Yeah.
To help get rid of scratches and all that.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Hey, you know what was crazy though back in the day when you get a multiplayer adapter for a PS2? That shit changed the game. It changed the entire game.
I don't think I ever had one.
Oh, dude, me and the homie. I was the one who had it, so I was like, I saw it, and I thought, that, oh, you can play with more than just 2 players with this thing. It was legit. So you went from only 2 people to up to 5, because it takes 1 slot and a memory slot, and it gives you 4 additional controller inputs. So that shit needs to be tight.
Man, I almost never use those memory slots.
But obviously, like nowadays, you can just easily just connect via Bluetooth because controllers are configured that way.
Right.
Yeah, technology's come up. But I definitely would still prefer to buy digital. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it prefers though. I mean, because if you're a collector's edition type of guy, I mean, aren't most of those always physical copies?
Yeah, they're gonna be physical for sure.
I mean, you can still get the stuff that comes with it, but like Persona 5 Royal, I got a one of the metal cases. It's like I wouldn't got that if I had the digital. But the thing is, those metal cases, like my Persona is not in that case. Like those metal cases are almost impossible to take the disc out without you having the feeling that you're gonna break the disc.
Oh, for sure. That shit locks it in, dude.
Yeah. Right now in that case is my Black Ops 3, which I like don't play that. I don't even know why I still have that game.
You have to feel like fucking King Arthur pulling all Excalibur. Get the fucking CD out.
You basically have to peel it off, and at that point you're like, man, I feel like I'm gonna snap this disc. Like the moment I got that game and took it out, I was like, this is never going back in this.
One thing though, I bought Final Fantasy VII remake, and I bought a bundle edition, and it came with a digital book instead of just like a physical one. So yeah, the collecting edition like part definitely would have been nice, but at least I still have it digitally on the PS4.
Oh yeah, you said digital book. I don't know if we said anything about this before, but you remember how because you said something about the guidebooks. I think you were talking about the official guidebooks, right, for the different games. You remember when you bought games and they used to come with like a little book inside them?
Yeah, the instruction manual.
Yeah, but it was more than just. I mean, yeah, I guess it was an instruction, but there was always a little more to them. Now it's just
they would always have like some backstory on the main characters and certain like introductions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now now there's nothing in there. Now there's just nothing.
See, I kind of like that there's nothing because I always have to be the motherfucker who told everyone the fucking buttons because I was the one who read the manual. It was like, let's just go see what the buttons are. Like, okay. There's this thing right here that tells us everything you need to know.
Man, you know people don't like reading.
I don't read either. You just look at it and it says X button jump, circle button attack. Like that's all there is to it.
Right. So would you? So now that there's consoles coming out that are completely foregoing disc, right? Would you want to have the console that has the disc as like to keep the option, or would you just totally go digital?
I would go digital.
See, yeah, I have the digital PS5, but then at the same time, cause like I know, at least for PCs, I think you can have your PC that doesn't have the optical drive, but you can buy a USB one, right? That you can attach to it if you wanted to, and put the disc in there. What if that was a thing for like if you got the digital version of a game and then you buy like an external optical drive? What if they did that? It's like you don't know, like you would prefer digital, but you pay like, I don't know, 30, 50 for an optical drive on the off chance that you want to get a physical over a digital.
At least for me, I feel like at a home console, I feel like I would want the option to have a disc, just for the simple fact that I know that I could get the disc cheaper whenever I wanted to, and things like that, right? And at least I'll also have a cool little collection I can put on a bookshelf and things like that. If it was if we're talking PC, obviously I could do that all digital. And if we're talking like a portable console, like my Switch, I honestly think I would do all digital for something like that.
Yeah, because you don't want to. Don't want to be wanting to play a game and then you're like, "Dang, I didn't bring it with me."
Yeah, exactly. Well, you have to think about packing it in your backpack and fucking making sure you have all the. Because what is it? The Fire Emblems, right? You can have all of them, but play like different stories on like one cartridge. But like back then, it was different. Because
exactly.
Yeah, you'd have to have both of them. And
exactly,
ain't it the worst feeling? Ain't it the worst feeling when you're like, okay, I'm about to play this on this trip, and you check your little portable, and you see the game inside, and it's not the one that you thought you had.
Yeah, that is.
Like, damn! Now I gotta play this game.
That is the worst.
All right, though. But here's a question. So, say that you are. So, you want to buy a digital version. But places like GameStop, you can go there and buy a digital code.
Yep, that's a thing you can do.
Okay, but what's the purpose of that? Because the digital code is the same price as the digital version, ain't it?
Yeah, but you're not buying it from the PlayStation Store, are you? Like, I imagine in GameStop,
right? So you're supporting. You're basically supporting your local store. Is that what you're getting at?
Or are you saying like if it was cheaper to buy it in store for a digital code, would you do that? Is that what you're saying? Or?
Yeah, because earlier you said that you can get it cheaper at a GameStop versus buying it on PlayStation Store. But what if you went to GameStop, you got it cheaper, and you got it cheaper as a digital version?
Yeah, if they had that, like if that was a thing, like I'm not too sure, like consistently, if the digital little things are always cheaper like that. But if they are, then yeah, I would definitely do that. I wouldn't mind buying the digital little code if it would end up being cheaper than it is like on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, I guess my whole thing is like, how much cheaper is it gonna be? Because I'm at that point where I struggle to see the difference in $5. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but I mean, if there's a difference of like $20, I mean,
yeah, then we might be talking about something different.
And then at this point, I am very slow to beating games and getting the games. It's almost better to just wait until a sale does happen, and I'm kind of shifting towards that instead of buying games full price. I'd rather prefer to get it when it does drop in price, and
Same.
you could almost always guarantee you could get it cheaper at a store.
Same.
Because unless you're just going to be waiting around for when the sale happens, like a yearly sale, like okay, like for Steam, for example, right? You know that Steam's always going to have a fire sale every once in a while, and you know that PlayStation Store will always have a sale, all for like, don't they do it like every seasons?
Yeah.
Like when the season changes and things like that, they always have good seasonal sales. So you have to like prep yourself and think, oh yeah, I'm only going to get, Final Fantasy and God of War and all these other different types of games when the seasonal sale hits, right? And you can't even guarantee that it'll be the ones that get dropped in price.
Yeah. I would say same, but I don't necessarily just wait for the sale, I kind of switched to buying it when I'm gonna play it. Like, I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. I want to play the Demon Souls that came out, but I haven't bought them yet because I haven't got to it. Whereas
Right.
when God of War came out, I remember Spider-Man came out at like the same time, and I bought both of them. I still have not played Spider-Man. I played God of War, but I
Right.
still have not played Spider-Man. But I bought that like full price.
Right.
that time.
And at this time that you probably could have waited, and you probably could have got Spider-Man for like $20 or $30 because I think that's what it's going for these days,
Yeah,
right?
and then actually, I think Spider-Man is free in the PlayStation.
It was
collection.
free. Yep.
Yeah.
I will say also like I don't know the exact like dollar amounts, but the amount of money it takes to, make a disc. Okay, first someone has to like program the code within the disc, and then they actually have to actually manufacture the disc and whatnot and do all that. Whereas for digital games, you pretty much just have to make the game and have servers to like upkeep
But isn't
the
that
game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and isn't that funny though? Because you would think then, if that is the case, then digital should probably almost always be cheaper, right?
Right, because it's more available. Like
Yeah, but that's
totally.
not the case.
Yeah. And in theory, like you can't really run out of digital copies.
If
Like,
only
the
there
most-
was a place that you could buy codes for like consoles
Yeah.
at like a reduced price. But
See, I don't know if they could do that though, because you're selling the same game for different prices. So then you would kind of, I don't know if this will be the right way to say it. You would kind of like short sell the retailers, right? Because the
Yeah, because the retailers
wouldn't
wouldn't benefit from it at all
Yeah,
unless they do like some type of what GameStop does, some type of reward point system, like or like what is it? Kind of like maybe what Costco does, where you have to pay like a monthly subscription to even shop there.
right,
I feel like
And
they'd have to
know-
do something like that to even make a profit.
And then I know GameStop, their rewards thing, it would give you like that card would give you like 10% off of used games, but those are for
Mhm.
used games.
Yeah. So cool in the cool thought, but I guess that's the reason why it hasn't come about yet, huh?
right, right.
But yeah, definitely like 90% of the time I'm gonna buy digitally. It has to be some type of collectible for me to actually want to buy a hard copy.
Or some game that I really like. Like both Personas actually, Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. I bought both of those physical.
I bought both them mugs on sale.
You
I
know,
got
I
them
guess
when
I
they
could
came
see.
out.
I could see too, especially if like, because I do admit it was really cool to have when I bought, because I bought the original Persona when it had the steelbook, and that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. So I had the steelbook there.
Yeah, those are definitely like worth.
Yeah, Royal's
collecting.
a nice still, but
Yeah.
I broke the
It's
cycle though
also
with Scramble because I haven't bought Scramble yet.
it's not called Scrambled, is it? It's Strikers.
Oh yeah, Strikers. It's Scramble in Japan, and I heard Scramble first, I guess.
Oh, it's
'Cause-
Scrambled in Japan.
Yeah, because when we first heard about it, it was Scramble, but then it took a
Mm.
year to come here. Where when it came here, it was Strikers. So like
Mm,
sometimes I guess I just say Scramble without meaning to.
that makes sense though. I think a cool thing is too though, like you could buy some of those books at conventions and stuff. Like remember that one convention we saw like it was over here in Dallas. We saw like the different books they had available.
Oh yeah. Like the art books.
Yeah, like that shit's tight.
Yeah, those are made by those are fan made though, I think. Although well, some of them were legit though.
Yeah, some of them were like which calls it Atlas made.
Yeah. Conventions be nice, but at the same time, you know, you be walking around and you see people and you're like, what?
It's the same reason I don't like going into GameStop. But at the same time, it is like cool as shit. Like,
Yeah.
where else can you buy a sword?
True.
Robino knows. He buys a sword every time you go.
I didn't buy a sword that time.
You buy a sword at GameStop?
Oh, no, conventions.
I was going to say GameStop. You sold swords.
I only bought a sword at 2 conventions. My first convention and my second convention.
They were the same convention.
Yeah, they were. The first sword I bought, I have not even seen that anime. I bought it because it was black and red.
Yep. It was Blood Plus, yeah?
Yeah.
That's funny.
You just like black and red, huh?
hmm
Hey, I don't know what to say, but
Chicago.
I'm not even from Chicago.
Chicago ones.
Chicago.
But I know.
At least you're a Hawks fan.
I ain't never said
Fake.
that.
You're
Fake
a Hawks fan?
I mean.
Nah.
He's a fake Hawks fan because he'd be walking the black and red. Those are all Atlanta colors too, actually.
If anything, it'd be like the Bulls, because I had that Bulls hoodie.
You do have
Later.
a Bulls hoodie. You a fake Chicago fan.
Hey, my dad's from Chicago.
I was a Bulls fan back when D Rose was in his prime.
Oh yeah. Now he's at New York.
I was always an OKC fan.
Yeah, I bet you
You
are
still
now,
OKC
huh?
fan?
Yeah. What happened? You changed it up.
No, I'll still rep the OKC, although none of the people that
Name
I
3
originally
players on
liked-
their current roster.
they got Shea Jiglius.
Yes, Canadian.
They have man, I don't remember how to say his name. It starts with the O. Oka something. I don't know. He's like a small
Okinawa?
forward or shooting guard or something like that. They got Horford. They used to have CP3.
Oh yeah, that was
They-
that was a few years ago.
No, that was last year.
Was he there last year? Oh yeah, he was there last year. He was
Yeah.
with the Rockets before then.
And then they had Schroeder. That was last year.
Oh, he was with the Lakers last year.
No, he was
Yeah, I know.
he
I'm
was on
back on you
OKC
now.
last year. Now he's with Lakers.
Wasn't Schroeder on the Hawks at some point too?
He was at the Hawks before he was at the Thunder.
Like the Thunder. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
How come you're not a Washington fan? You like Russell Westbrook?
See, so it started. See that would just be following Russell though. I started at OKC when it was Durant, Westbrook, Harden, like Kevin Martin and Ibaka.
Yeah.
That was when I started liking OKC.
Until they lost. They lost in the semis again. And then Katie was like, let me join that team. That team's good. Let me join them.
And then he's like, all right, we won. Now I'm going to go join this team.
Speaking of basketball, remember homie, he bought that $100 2K pack. got all the points and shit. Got everything. He's like, I'm excited to play this. Never heard from him playing it ever again.
Never. Never.
You told him not to do it.
He bought the whole bundle, got all this my player shit. He don't play basketball.
It'd be like that sometimes though.
Lies. I think that pretty much covers it, right, guys?
Yeah. Say that was some good stuff.
Covered. Sauce.
Yes, sir. We talked about digital versus physical copies of video games and going in-store versus not in-store. It all has its pros and cons and your preference. I think for me personally, I would buy digital for portable games and, of course, computer. But I would honestly probably stick to physical more oftentimes than not for home console. That's just me, though. It's not like you guys were on digital all the way.
Cloud for life.
Yeah, but it's been your boys. I respect the tilt. And remember, to always respect the tilt. And let us know, what would you prefer?
Doritos.